Hey, well, y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy K-Rob, the Human Sports Encyclopedia, with another one. And we are getting ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs. As you see, I got my Blues stuff. Let me tilt my head because I got a fat head. Got my Blues stuff in the back. And the Blues are going to be taking on the President's Trophy champion Winnipeg Jets. Game 1 tomorrow night, as of the time of this recording, at 5 p.m. Central Time. And I think it'd be about 4 o'clock Manitoba time, if you will. But Blues-Jets, Game 1 tomorrow night. But we're going to check out what I've been waiting on, the Haters Guide to the 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs, brought to you by the legend Urinating Tree. So we're going to see his thoughts in his own cynical way on the playoffs this year. And for him, the Penguins stink, and it's about time. He is a diehard Penguins fan. He's a complete Yinzer, so this is actually the first time that the Bruins, Rangers, and the Penguins have all missed the playoffs at the same time. So there's your little factoid. As you can see, we got two good old Canadian teams to start the video. Leafs, Canadiens, but it will be for the Leafs for the first time. They'll be in the Battle of Ontario for the first time since 2004. And the Canadiens, the young, exciting Canadiens, get the privilege of facing the record-breaking Ovi-led Washington Capitals. Let's take a look and see what Tree's got to say. If you guys like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and do the rest. Let's get into it.
The NHL playoffs are my favorite time of the year, and I will never be convinced otherwise. 16 teams in a near 2-month gauntlet to the death, overcoming mental, physical, and external adversity to lift the most glorious trophy in sports.
Yes, sir.
Immortality defined. Anyone who's won it can attest to the feeling. This go-around will be different. No Boston. No Rangers. No fucking Penguins. There will be former champions, successful rebuilds, and surprising revivals all the same. Time to discuss them. Turns out a way to get a team to unlock a higher level of potential is to suffer humiliating first-round exits. Rick Bowness swells with pride in the TNT studio. These Jets have pushback. Look to the true north and find glorious rewards. An offense flush with depth and power play skill. Incredibly reliable defensive strength. And there's also that hell of a guy in net. He might be pretty good too. Even if this season's been an incredible success, the postseason's one of enormous pressure for Winnipeg. They have to make a deep run. It's been far too long since they've tasted such nectar. The downside? They've been cursed with the unbreakable hex of the President's Trophy. It is a symbol of doom to all who inherit it.
As a Blues fan who sat through the 2000 Blues, I know all about the President's Trophy curse.
Let it begin with an injury to Nikolai Ehlers.
Yeah, that's
All he
a
did
banger.
was back into a zebra. That's the kind of horror we talk about. All in. Jerry Jones can learn a thing or two from the stars. Years upon years of getting close to the precipice only to fall off at the last moment. Colorado, Vegas, Edmonton, more. Who the hell knows when there will be another chance like this? They have more firepower than a fucking aircraft carrier. Mikko Rantanen's in-house.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And he's performing admirably in the system. The pressure on them's even greater than Winnipeg's. At least the Jets have won the division. At least they're exceeding expectations. The Stars' ambitions are right now. The forward depth's the best in hockey. Jake Ottinger's in peak form. Tyler Seguin.
Keep in mind, they will be entering this series without Jason Robertson. That is something to keep in mind for Dallas's firepower.
And Miro Heiskanen are returning to take revenge on Mark Stone. So why the hell are they playing their worst hockey right before the dance? Hey, Dallas. Earth to Dallas. Get your fucking shit together. Do you really want this to be Jamie Benn's potential final memory as a star? Or is this just a standard? The record's highly deceiving. This Avalanche season's been rockier than Denver's competence in baseball. A shitload of injuries on the wings masked by the horrors of Forgier. Complete goaltending overhaul, significant changes throughout the roster. The goalie changes worked out well, by the way. Mikko Rantanen, we're not paying you $14 million a year, get the hell out. That's worked out well so far, too. Over time, they finally gained quality depth and health from key players to seek a return to the heights of old. They couldn't get Crosby, but Nelson and Coyle work at center. It's very possible, but more is needed. Yet from the mist enters a creature of fables and tall
And
tales.
discard.
A mythological being who's come back from hell itself to enter the arena again. The Captain. Arisen from fighting the Balrog of knee cartilage replacement at the best possible time. He will arrive with the Rohirrim on the third day. At dawn, look to the east. Blues firing their head coach after an early struggle, then finding incredible form to end the year as one of the hottest teams in hockey?
Now, where have we heard that story before? Waka waka.
Nope, certainly hasn't happened in their recent history. What has is their youth movement in the forward core, now featuring Jimmy Snuggerud from college.
Yes, sir.
Although their defense is still full of veteran experience, including Cam Fowler, who's somehow become a godsend for their back end. Anaheim really is a black hole. Jordan Bennington, who the hell knows what you're gonna get with him? You either shut out a team or start punching everyone. They tried to scare us with a losing skid to end the year, but let's be real, it's Calgary. Do you really expect them to rise to the occasion? I know who will. Colton Parayko. He's back from injury.
Back.
Adding that to what they have in stock right now, we thank Drew Bannister for the ultimate sacrifice. This team's giving me those Gloria vibes. Better shut them up quickly, Winnipeg. So you're telling me Vegas didn't thrust themselves balls deep into a big addition? I don't know this world. And again, did the Knights really need anything? Reclaiming the Pacific after it was stolen by Canucks tends to create peak momentum. It says something when a strong season is uneventful. Rattling off wins despite losing Marcia So, Aiden Hill maintaining strong form in net, Mark Stone with his perennial long-term visit to the repair shop. That tradition, the Golden Knights boast a potent power play and goal scoring in bunches. Seattle's failure to launch has proven that Vegas is different. They actually know what they're doing. Even if their year was ho-hum, the hunger for another cup hasn't faded. The Golden Knights are a strong group as expected, yet they've been oddly flying under the radar. I feel like Ilya Samsonov in net. A total wild card. Let's hope you get the version that can make a save. One desire fills their hearts. A single logo burns bright for miles on end. Edmonton. LA's played them 3 straight times. They've lost every single one. And it hasn't been all that close. But times might be different. The Oilers look weak. LA boasts strong defense and net minding without the gimmicky 1-3-1. Andrzej Kopitar has fed the souls of at least 5 younglings a day to maintain his abilities. It's less of a mirage than last year's run was, which tends to happen when freed from the horrible Dubois. They lack high-end ability, but their depth is second to none. And at full strength, the Kings have quietly been dispatching opponents left and right. Long live the defensive cocoon, and long live Darcy Kemper's return to 2022 form. But please score in more than sparse bunches.
There's 2 guarantees in hockey with the Kings. Physical defense and strong goaltending. No matter who it is, it's one of those things they've always had. And that goes back to peak Jonathan Quick.
Yet there's only one goal in mind right now. Beat the Oilers. Beat them to a pulp. Then and only then can they look further. This is why you have to make your chances count when you get to the brink. Because the dice may not roll in your favor next time. Things were looking like standard Edmonton until DEFCON 1 hit like a nuke headed for downtown. Connor and Leon both suffered long-term injuries. I don't need to explain how fucked the Oilers were. One long skid without high-end talent put them in peril. Losing home ice to the fucking Kings.
You know, I bet those Oilers really miss those Holloway and Broberg guys that are currently playing for the Blues. Probably could use that depth right about now.
Corey Perry's got a cup losing streak to maintain, you know. McDavid's back, but is he anywhere near full strength? Leon's first games back will be in the playoffs, so who knows how we'll do. The only guarantee is Jeff Skinner getting his first taste of postseason hockey.
Congratulations,
now, if
Skinner.
Stuart Skinner could return to last postseason's form, that'd be great. You can't lose to fucking LA, boys. They're all but your property. You'll have to maintain narratives without Ekholm this time. Good luck. Their season might have been literally saved at the last minute. Their saviors were cleared from the emergency room just in time for April. Kaprizov and Eriksson-Ek have returned. They're pretty much the only chance Minnesota has of doing anything. Wild without them, best dump their asses in a landfill. Yes, even for Fleury's farewell tour. The white-hot start to the year has tapered off into their greatest challenge of the season. The million-dollar question is one that's been asked for time eternal. Do they have enough? The Doubting Birds are singing their songs throughout the hockey world. They just can't shake the traditional narratives. Danila Yurov's gonna be a tremendous addition, but he isn't coming until next year. The fall harvest means nothing when the same shit keeps happening. The Wild should think about changing that. Congratulations to every mediocre franchise in the NHL. The Capitals have just given your executive branches endless fuel to stave off inevitable rebuilds. Years of middling performance and rotting away led to an epiphany. Bold moves were needed to return to relevance. A As a result, the power of friendship is leveled up to a devastating attack. A new core has emerged from a variety of areas. Strong prospect development. Cast-offs from Chicago. Pierre-Luc Dubois! He's not lazy as shit here.
Now.
Jacob Chikrin got extended long-term to go with Tom Wilson's eternally rent-free existence in the Metro. Yes, they are punching well above their weight, especially in net. And the Caps are running out of gas fast, but that might have been to surrender the President's Trophy hex to an unassuming host. Washington knows about that curse all too well. Hell, even if it all goes to shit, the season's a success. Ovi did the thing.
That was the coolest shit, and congrats to Ovi. Breaking a record that, admittedly, growing up, I thought was one of maybe the most unbreakable major record in pro sports. 894 was, like, unattainable to me. And old man Ovechkin, 39 years old, over 40 goals. That was so freaking cool.
He stands alone in the same amount of games that Gretzky played. Take that, you fuckers. So,
Hey,
crisis
where's Hurricane Man?
averted, I think? The Hurricanes lived up to their namesake this year. Just not the way they were hoping for. First, they couldn't tend the net early in the year. Then they couldn't tend to the ego of Mikko Rantanen. Now they can't tend to win anything. Playing the worst hockey they played all year. Extremely talented roster, elite penalty kill or not, it's hard to put your trust in them after past failures. So I'm just gonna say it. How are they gonna crush their fan spirit this year? Quadruple overtime elimination game or game winner by Mikko Rantanen. Hey, at least in the latter category, the Canes make it to the Cup, so yay? I cannot exaggerate how much pressure's on them. Any more and it'll crush them into a finely congealed paste.
Ooh.
For a team that lives in its fears, they need a deep run. And even that may not be enough. Cup or bust. Something tells me this is gonna blow up in their face like the Rantanen deal. Fucking finally! The Devils get to enjoy the pleasures of great defense and goaltending for the first time since, I think, the age of Brodeur?
Yeah.
Tom Fitzgerald's ass
Since
is no
Scott
longer searing
Stevens.
hot. Jacob Markstrom and Jake Allen are the rocks to bring New Jersey back to relevance. The only thing it cost them was anything resembling player health. No Jack Hughes or Dougie and more.
Ooh, that
The
blue
climb
line
just
is
got
thin.
significantly steeper. Without their elite players, the Devils have frozen over and are being perfectly preserved for next season. Jake and Jacob, you're going to be forced into Atlas carrying the world duty. Although if you want to make us laugh, you can always beat Carolina. Yeah, they're probably fucked, aren't they? Man, this team might be more cursed than the Canes. Then again, we said this about them against the Rangers a few years ago. They said it was going to be the Iser plan that emerged. What a hilarious
These boys
proposition.
arrived way
All those pundits should
sooner
have
than
looked further
expected.
north. Quebecers, you have permission to pump out your chest for about a week. Even though you shouldn't, since they nearly choked away the spot at the last minute. For fuck's sake, the Habs couldn't beat tanking Chicago.
Yeah,
That
it
being
would
said-
have. And Columbus is a team, I think they're going to make the playoffs next year. But with everything that happened with Johnny Gaudreau and his brother, and the Jackets came close, and they can really score. Keep an eye on Columbus next year.
Crisis averted, still a strong season. Years of wandering a post-cup finals abyss have led to the fruits of a new core. Lane Hudson's a stud. Suzuki and Caulfield are a strong 1-2 punch. Plus, Ivan Demidov made his way across the pond to kick ass out the gate. It's here where you realize something. Sam Montembeau's been that good all year? With that awful defense in front of him? Yeah, they're probably getting slaughtered. Still good to be back. It says something when the Maple Leafs are experiencing some of the best regular season success in decades, yet I'm woefully unimpressed by them every time I watch. Yes, I know it's by design, but analytics show us a team that's a glorified mid-pack unit. Repeatedly stealing games they should easily lose thanks to the glories of high-end talent.
It's
Somehow getting every lucky bounce imaginable thanks to the
coach.
blessing from the hockey gods themselves.
Gotta
Hell, even the
love
refs
you.
are literally bailing them out. It's a smoke and mirror show led by goalies playing eons over their head. Wait, Toronto with good goaltending?
Goaltending, yes.
What kind of timeline did I step into? This is one of those double negatives that isn't supposed to exist.
Because Craig Berube coached teams have good goaltending. Didn't you know?
Boston's gone, you know. Their boogeyman's out of the way. Someone else will have to take up the mantle. Maybe it'll be Marner. Probably the last go-around with him as a Leaf. Devil Magic's gonna make them go far, won't it? Trying to keep a window pried open is a dangerous proposition. Years of slow decline force action. The old stalwarts must be purged. or in the case of Ryan McDonough, brought back. This is a new era of the Lightning. One still dominating on the power play, but a good bit better 5-on-5. Analytically and production-wise, they're one of the best teams in hockey. Minus a rough November. Scoring goals at will. Tampa Bay knows the time is now. Their core is aging. The best defensemen on their roster are in their mid-30s. Nikita Kucherov has won yet another Art Ross. They once again ran Vasilevsky into the ground. It's not a metric shit ton of tension, but chances like this don't come around often. If they fail, they probably have another year to prove themselves worthy again, but best not to rely on that. Maybe this was the cup hangover the gods envisioned. Nothing to offend the glorious champions, but everything just feels off about them. I don't know, it could be the Kachuk injury since the Four Nations tourney or the Aaron Ekblad suspension. Might even be willingly cursing themselves with Seth Jones. He's been alright here at least. I still have to figure out how to deal with Brad Marchand and a Rats uni though. The good news is that they should be close to full strength in the Battle of Florida, but the team's been sluggish in the short term. It's understandable, playing that many games over the years tends to wear you down. They need to find a way to get their mojo back. Better hope Officer Bob's up to snuff. If not, it's Vitek Vanacek. Ugh. Buffalo would never do such a thing. Dylan Cousins is free from the shackles and able to join a real team. Just didn't think it'd be Ottawa. Who knew that finally finding a goddamn goalie would lead to success? Boston wants to get rid of Linus Ullmark, they'll gladly pay him what he wants. That and a touch of Levy Maryland saving their ass in January. What you get's an interesting young core with a few veteran hands to guide them. Claude Giroux's return home has finally brought balance to the Senators again. The odds are against them, especially since it's the infamous learning experience here, but they've been riding good form as of late. Plus, it's a long way to renewal of the Battle of Ontario. Who knows? Maybe you go on another deep playoff run like last time.
We don't need. Oh man, why?
On second thought, let's not talk about that one.
Seriously, man. Like, yeah, Craig Anderson played his heart out, and he was also playing while his wife was battling cancer too. And I've always had a soft spot for Ottawa, going back to the Alfie days, like peak Alfie, when they had Hossa and like Havlat and a young Big Z. So it's good to see them back. Now Buffalo, maybe one day.
This first round's gonna be on fire. Probably literally. The Battle of Ontario. The Battle of Florida. The Mikko Rantanen and Marc-Andre Fleury Bowls. It's so beautiful to see. But the two teams that'll make it out, better just picking names out of a hat. I'm a firm believer that Canada's stealing the game back to where they feel it belongs. Gary Bettman wakes up in a cold sweat of maple syrup at the thought. That being said, their superiority complex over their southern neighbor will continue with the Toronto versus Winnipeg Cup final.
Oh, dude.
It's the insufferable outcome we all deserve. This has got to be punishment for those 51st state jokes.
That would be so delicious, and it would make Gary Bettman so angry, even though he won't say it publicly. But I don't find it a coincidence that no Canadian team has won a Stanley Cup under his tenure. Anyway, guys, that was from Tree. Enjoyed it. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Don't be surprised if the Blues actually upset Winnipeg. Those teams are built fairly similar, but Winnipeg started hot, stayed hot. Blues got hot at the right time. I'm looking forward to it. Stanley Cup playoffs is the best postseason in all of sports. Everyone knows this, and if you don't, you'll find out. Check the games out. They start this weekend. Blues game 1, 5 o'clock Saturday night. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'm gonna be getting ready for WrestleMania this weekend, and I'll be live on my regular channel, K-Rob Reacts, for WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday, and I'll be live here Thursday night for night 1 of the NFL draft. So until then, hugs and hand pounds, and we'll see you in the next one.